Hi, welcome to How to Repair. In this video I'm going to be dismantling a Bosch Series 6 washing machine. And the reason I'm dismantling this machine, the cabinet is in poor condition, it's missing the flap at the bottom and it has a very large hole in the bottom of the door seal. But I have put the machine through a full test cycle and all the components are good on the machine apart from the actual door seal, the condition of the cabinet, and of course it's got some marks and missing the flap on the bump. But in this video, I'm going to also be showing you how to enter diagnostic mode, explaining what the procedure does, and also talk through the error codes while dismantling the machine. Now, the parts are going to benefit other people, and this is why I'm dismantling this machine. So many of the Bosch components are very expensive, and things like motors, printed circuit boards, and the drum, especially the drum. Why they are building sealed drums in washing machines today, I do not know, apart from the point of making sure that you buy a new washing machine every 5 to 7 years. It's a disgrace really, and I will keep exposing the manufacturers until they change something in this industry. All that being said, let me quickly show you how it goes into diagnostic mode. Okay, first thing you need to do, turn the machine into the off position, shut the door, and whenever entering test mode, you must not have any clothing inside the drum. As I said, I will be doing a detailed video on these Series 4 and Series 6 test modes, and that will be coming out in the next few weeks. This is not connected to the water, so we're only going to be able to do the first part of the diagnostic procedure, and I'll show you the variation between the two. When it's in the off position, turn it to, I believe it's position 8, but I just say put it straight to the bottom to the rinse and spin. Once the display lights up, hold the second button. On this machine, it's the RPM. Hold it down and turn it one more position, and it will enter test mode. It will also, at this point, show you any error code that was stored into the machine. I'm also going to use the RPM button and the finish button to go up and down the cycles because there are many different test procedures. Now, I'm not able to put all these test procedures on a page for you because, shall we say, enough hate mail from the manufacturers as it is. But just turning it up to position 2 and pressing start, this would go through the basic test procedure. Because it's not connected to the water supply, it should come up with E29 error code because no water is present at the machine. Or if the machine was not filling quickly, it would also come up with E29 error code. So I'm just going to press the start button. You'll hear the door energize. Program 2 starts and the drum will go through a rotation of clockwise and anti-clockwise rotation until we hear a buzzing noise for the water valve. E29 comes up. Now I'm going to turn the machine off again and I'm going to turn it back down to enter test mode. And, oh, it didn't turn itself off, bear with me. So waiting for the machine to turn off completely, I'm going to turn it straight down to the 6 o'clock position. Press and hold the RPM, turn it one more click. This time I'm going to enter diagnostic mode 3 because I know that's to do with the spin cycle. So let me go to 3. And this should now go into an RPM test on the motor. You can hear the pump running, the machine should be emptying if it was connected to the water supply, and the drum starts rotating clockwise, then anti-clockwise, and now it will start to go into a test on the spin. I won't record all this for you because I am going to do a designated video for you in the future. But there are many tests that you can do on your machine which will assist you in diagnosing problems. Okay, the machine finished the spin program, so I'm just going to turn the machine off. Now unplug it from the electricity supply and we're ready to strip the machine. As I said, I have gone through a full test on this machine and I know every component is good on the machine apart from the door seal and the condition of the cabinet. Also, I will not be selling the display panel because it has worn out numbers on the front. I believe this machine, by the way, is a 2017 machine. As I said, Most of the Bosch machines are very good machines when it comes to the cabinet design. They are very good machines when it comes to the wash cycle. The only objection I have to Bosch today is them overpricing components and also putting sealed drums into their machines. And also not allowing people like me to help you by giving the detailed information with regards their diagnostic procedures and also their workshop manuals. All these things are available, but they only keep it for their own engineers. And we are meant to be improving the world by basically energy saving and all this. But this machine is approximately roughly 7-8 years old, and it's basically being dismantled because the door seal for this machine is over £50 for the genuine door seal, which is an expensive door seal when you consider it. Give it a tap once you've undone the 2 screws, and this is a torque 20, by the way, that you're going to need to dismantle these machines. Okay, I always save the old screws because I actually do get asked for these a lot on the website. Perfectly good soap drawer. By the way, if you do have conditioner problems, if you remove this plastic piece here, which just, let me just tip the water out for you. If your conditioner is not disappearing, then you may have a blockage in here. And if I bring this up for the camera, you can actually see this hole in the middle is slightly blocked. And that means that when the machine is doing the last rinse, which is the conditioner might not be siphoning, because this is actually called a siphon drawer, and it siphons the comfort or conditioner out of the machine into the actual drum. And that's a perfectly good soap drawer. Now we need to remove some screws inside here. Again, these are torque 20. And this one at the bottom is normally a problem because for some unknown reason the manufacturer does not actually put a stainless steel or aluminium screw in there, and I'm going to have to get another device to remove this because to me it feels seized. Now I've spent 10 minutes trying to get this screw out and it's completely stripped the head, and I have no other choice but to use a drill bit and actually drill the screw out. One screw more here, and I think I've removed enough of the head now on the other screw to be able to remove this panel, and I just need to look in there. Okay, I've managed to drill the head off the screw, as you can see there. It is ludicrous that they put a steel screw in there, but the other screws that they use on the machine are aluminium. I don't know why Bosch does this, because they do a very good job at building the cabinet. One clip over the far side, and now the actual display panel will come away. Again, as I said, I won't be selling the facial panel, I will only be selling the actual display board. One clip on the wiring harness, and now just pull the wiring off. And I'll take the circuit board off in a second. Okay, next we're going to remove the front panel. Couple of screws here, couple on the underside, and first we'll remove the door. Now, while I talk about the door, doors break on a regular occurrence because children hang off the doors when they're left open. And if this door breaks, you might think, I only have to replace the glass if it shatters or the hinge. But do you know that the outer trim for this door is over £100? If you add up all the parts for this door, outer trim, inner trim, glass, pin, hinge, it's over £200 to buy. We're going to sell this door for approximately £30–35, and it's really going to help someone. But this is where manufacturers build in obsolescence. How can they charge £200 for the door components alone when the machine only cost £312, I believe. No, sorry, that's the drum. The machine itself cost £499. The drum is £300 on this machine, and the door is £200. Where is the logic? Why are they removing the right to repair? Okay, only 2 screws needed for removing this. One at the bottom here, one at the top. Support the door, because I don't want to break the hinge. lift it up slightly and it will come away. Burkeye, my editor, will be listing all these parts and putting links to them in the video as well to assist you with any spare parts that you require. Okay, next we need to remove the outer band on the door seal. Flat blade screwdriver, just slide it underneath the spring on the one side. The spring sometimes sticks to the actual rubber. Slide that up and then you will be able to peel this off. There's a lot of corrosion on this and I'm not going to sell that spring. Then you just peel back the door seal and this will give you access to the door interlock. Now Burkeye is going to put all the actual error codes and all the parts up on this video for me. He does a cracking job and he's actually learning to repair appliances. Because he is Turkish, he's actually going to be creating Turkish videos on these machines to assist the Turkish community as well. And he's starting to become quite a good engineer. Pressing down these two pins on the door lock, just slide the door lock towards my direction while pressing down the two pins. Then you need to turn it at a slight angle and push it backwards and it will go inside the panel. You could remove it at this point, but we're going to remove the panel. Okay, there's two screws underneath. There's also two screws inside the flap here for the pump, but do notice this little pull cord here. This is the emergency release for the door interlock. If you've ever got a machine that's got a problem and you're unable to get your laundry out, you can just pull this cord down and it will release the door lock. I'm actually going to thread that through because we're taking it off. Two screws. And by the way, these are the metal screws that were also used in the soap drawer, the one that I had to drill out. Two screws at the top. Now the panel will lift up slightly and come away. Okay, I'm going to remove the door lock, but rather than unplugging this for when I resell it, I'm going to snip the wiring here, because sometimes when a door lock burns out, it can actually damage the plug on the actual connection, and that plug will be very useful for someone in the future. And I also sell the door lock with the emergency pull cord as well. Oh, and I also forgot to mention E16 or F16 is the most common error code for a door lock fault on these washing machines, but there are multiple other error codes which Burkeye will put up on the screen here for you somewhere. Now, when it comes to the door seal, it's not that difficult on these Bosch machines. You might need to take the concrete block off when replacing it if your fingers are not very good at getting this retention band off. But I'm just quickly going to remove the clip that holds it to the soap drawer. I haven't got my correct pliers here at the moment because a lot of my tools are out with the van. And now we need to take the actual door seal band off the actual seal, and that will just come away, and that's in perfectly good condition. All you actually have to do is peel the seal from the bottom, pull it upwards, and then the seal will come away. I'll just show you the hole in this door seal. You can see the hole there. Okay, next I'm going to remove the pump. Now the error code on Bosch for unable to empty in the allocated period of time, I believe, is E18, and any other error codes Burkeye will bring up on the screen for you. This, in my opinion, is a replacement pump that someone has put on at some point, so I won't be selling it as a new one. It will just be a replacement pump. When I say new one, sorry, genuine one. I'm cutting the wires off for the plug as well there. The reason I know this is because someone has fitted a Jubilee clip here instead of actually the original spring. So I'll just undo the Jubilee clip, take off the waste hose, that just comes away, and now we have the two screws that hold the pump in location. Oh, sorry, 3 screws. I didn't see that one. My old eyesight. Lucky I didn't force it. But that is a perfectly good condition pump. Okay, next I'm going to remove the retention bar at the top. Sorry about the sound then. I didn't realise my microphone was not on. And the soap drawer hose is here. And we just need to lift this rubber off the side And then we can actually lift up the soap box and put that there. I'll take that off in a second. And now we can move to the top of the machine to remove the water valve and the pressure switch. Okay, just taking the two hoses off the water valve. These are just sprung-loaded clips. And that's a perfectly good soap box. The water valve wiring is at the top here. The harness never seems to go wrong on these, so I'll just pull that off. And this is a little circuit board that sits on top of the water valve. One is neutral and the other two are live feeds. So if you want to, you could do an ohms reading on that as well. And Burkeye will bring up the error codes related to the machine unable to fill in the allocated period of time. The most common error code for the machine unable to fill in the allocated period of time, whether a solenoid has gone on the valve or you may have a blockage inside here on the filter. These are the most common faults that occur. And sometimes when you install a machine, you may have pushed it back into location and kinked the actual fill pipe. That's quite common as well. So all you have to do is put the screwdriver under the back here, slide it backwards, turn it at an angle, and the water valve will come away. Now also, on these water valves, on the underside, and if I can get this wiring out, I can show you, there is a little circuit board. And this is basically a flow meter which measures the water going into the machine electronically. And that is a perfectly good valve. And some of these valves are exceedingly expensive. I imagine this valve is somewhere in the region of £40. Okay, the pressure switch, straightforward. There's a little clip on the top that you need to lift up, and then you'll be able to take the plug out. And there's also a little clip on the top that you just need to press backwards, and the pressure switch will lift up, and then we can take the pipe off the bottom of the pressure switch, and that's a perfectly good pressure switch for someone. Okay, next we need to remove the back plate. This will expose the motor and also the pulley wheel, and we'll be able to get the belt. And I'll also take this little plastic cover off here because this actually holds the circuit board in place. And while I'm here, I'm just going to disconnect the wires, 2 earths, and then also the main feed into the circuit board and the neutral. Lift up the lug, and I've got a perfectly good cable there for someone as well, as sometimes they get damaged. Remove the back plate. I'll just collect that screw. Someone might appreciate that. Here we have the pulley wheel. They don't use the cast aluminium ones anymore. They're just using a pressed steel pulley wheel. This connects via the belt to the motor, and we have the heating system here as well, and we'll remove all that. Okay, first we'll slide the belt off. Just lift it away. Comes off easily. And for anyone's future reference, this is a 5 PJE 1255. That means the belt is 1 meter 255 millimeters long. 5 PJE is it's got 5 ribs, and that is basically the PJE is the profiling. There is a genuine number on here as well, which is a 5500002576, and that's a genuine Bosch belt that's in perfect condition. Okay, next I'm going to remove the wiring on the heater. Because I'm keeping this drum for my own purposes, meaning that if ever I have a machine that is a nice cabinet, but the drum has failed, therefore I've got a drum to replace it with to prolong the life. And these drums are just too expensive to post out to customers. We do them on pickup service on occasions where people pop by and pick them up, but that's basically all I'm willing to do with them. The NTC sensor has a clip on it and the wiring comes away, and I'll quickly just remove the earth as well, and I'm going to click that plate off which holds the wiring in place, and that's all the wiring. Now there's 2 bolts on the motor. They used to be 13mm, but these new induction motors they use much lighter bolts, and these are 8mm. So I'm just removing these 2 to remove the motor. And there's a couple. Now, these motors are held in place and they can be quite difficult to get off the drum. And I'll zoom in on this for you now so I can show you. Now, if you look here, there's compressed plastic, which when the screw goes in, pushes these outwards. So sometimes you have to support the motor, go down the side and just use a flat blade screwdriver, get between the plastic and just turn it slightly. And you might have to do this on both sides. And it is quite tricky. There we go. She's come off. I'll just lower that down to the bottom. And again, rather than undoing all these plugs, I'm just going to cut the wiring here. I know this is a perfectly good motor, fully tested. And look at the size of these new motors. Any distinguishing numbers on this motor? It's a permanent magnet motor. I just call them induction motors, but they're not actually technically like that. But they are much smaller than the old motors, much quieter. And produce the same sort of power as well, but it's a circuit board that controls all this. One more screw here, holding the circuit board at the top. Then the circuit board will have to be lifted up, and I might need to take this clip out first. That's part of the wiring harness. Then the circuit board should come out easily. Down the bottom there is a clip that you need to lift up on the circuit board to be able to slide it out, and once it comes out you're able to lift it up, and now I can disconnect all the electrics. I always just cut the cables on the circuit board, mainly so when people are replacing the circuit board they are actually able to see where the connections are, because sometimes people do make mistakes. And this circuit board is going to save someone a lot of money, because these circuit boards are about £130, £140 minimum. Okay, we've got the circuit board off, and I just want to talk quickly through this. Firstly, this circuit board most probably fits at least a few hundred different models of Bosch machine. But this circuit board is only programmed for this model of machine. You can see here they've actually written the model number on with a sticker, and this means that this circuit board was programmed with the software for this machine. I've also cut the wiring like that, so when people are replacing it, they can actually see where all the plugs go, because so many people just rip the wiring off the circuit board without actually without actually knowing which plug goes on where, and this is the reason I do that. This circuit board would normally cost a couple of £100 new, and someone is really going to appreciate this circuit board. But do be aware, when replacing circuit boards, you need to make sure you have no other fault with the machine before just fitting a circuit board to a machine. I have come across so many people who have replaced the circuit board and then contact us and say, oh, the circuit board's not working, I put it on and it blew. Well, that's because you could have a short with a heater, you could have a short with the motor, you may have wiring faults on the machine, and it's blown the circuit board. Most of the time, circuit boards only go because there is an additional fault with the machine. Also, while I'm here, I'm going to take off the hose, and you just need to prise this clip at the top, and then that clip will come off. And this allows me to thread the waste pipe through, and that's a perfectly good waste pipe. And then I'll pull all the electrics out. Now the last thing I'll do is disconnect the suspension legs, but I want to show you and get you understanding. Bosch has actually changed the complete design now of their suspension legs. They used to have a ludicrous design where you would have to split the drum to gain access to the legs, or you would actually have to drill the drum to actually remove the legs. So many engineers have commented saying you don't need to split the drum. But my point was not about splitting the drum. My point was the manufacturer made it very difficult to actually change suspension legs. Now, look how easy it is to replace a suspension leg when they do it this way. Now that everything is disconnected and all the suspension legs are disconnected at the bottom, 2 of them are off, 1 I've left on, I'm able to lift the drum out of the cabinet. Now I normally use my hoist, but I'm just going to do it on my own, and this has got the concrete blocks on, just to show you how easy it is compared to the ludicrous designs that Hoover and Candy use. I'm 60 years old and I can still do this because they have made the cabinet easy. Although it's blooming heavy. Okay, just quickly take the other suspension leg off. And I'll quickly whip the soap drawer hose off. And I'll also take the bottom hose off, but this is held on with a clip, so I'm going to have to break that clip, and at least someone is going to be able to replace that with a Jubilee clip. And I'll take that Jubilee clip off there. And there we go. I've got a spare drum for another machine that may have a good cabinet but collapsed bearings or spider. Other people have got spare parts at affordable prices. The door, the motor, the PCB and many other components there will help salvage machines from going to the landfill. And when I say the landfill, most of these machines in the United Kingdom, nearly 99% of all machines just go into a crushing machine that only salvages the metal components like the wiring, the aluminium and the copper. These machines really need to be recycled properly and allowing people to repair their machines at affordable prices in the future. Thank you very much indeed for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful. Please remember you can always support the website by buying the parts off us, giving the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you wish, and we have many other videos on the channel to assist you with multiple types of repair on all appliances. And if we've really helped you, you can always buy the parts off us or click on the Buy Paul a Beer page to donate to the website. Thanks very much indeed for watching.